Alright, so hello gamers and welcome back to another video. Today's video is going to be very important, so make sure to watch until the end. And keep in mind that this is my opinion, but now we're definitely facing one of the biggest times for the possible end of Phantom Forces, which before there have been times when people have been like, the game is dying, stuff is really going downhill, but now we are actually seeing the biggest fall off of all time for this game. Right now we are getting consistently less players on the game than ever before. The game isn't dead, as you could probably tell by the fact that right now when I'm playing there's 4.6k people on, which is, you know, about 40% less than I would have expected even a couple of months ago. And today I'm going to be explaining exactly why that is. Let's talk about the empty promises and things that have been talked about are being added to the game by the devs but haven't been added. Not every single one of these features that was supposed to be added or was talked about being added was actually like confirmed, but this is stuff that people have actually talked about being interested in. The devs have talked about it a little bit or addressed it, but never actually made any moves to actually add these things, which I think is the biggest problem. And the first thing here is daily quests, weekly quests, gun of the day, anything like that. The fact that after like 7 or 8 years of this game's existence, there isn't a daily quest system, there isn't a weapon of the day system, weekly quests, any other ways to earn XP or to level up or to unlock skins other than, you know, unboxing cases and getting kills and things, right? There's nothing else you can do, and there's no really reason to actually log into the game and play it every single day or any reward for playing in a specific type of way or playing for a challenge, right? The fact that you can just play and do well and that's about it is just kind of crazy for a game this old. Even stuff as simple as get 10 kills with a specific gun or something like that, use a specific attachment, that would really improve the variety of weapons used in this game, how fun the game is, and if they actually went pretty crazy with it, it could be really cool. Like, for example, do a certain thing like an Easter egg on a certain map or a challenge would be incredible. Maybe once a week you have, you know, 1 or 2 Easter eggs that are pretty difficult to do, you have to do specific stuff, but you get a massive, I don't know, 20k XP bonus that could help a new player rank up like even twice with it, or even an experienced player to get some free XP that they wouldn't be able to get otherwise. And here's the issue with this, right? Stylus has talked about adding something like this before, and at this point in the game's development, it should have been added. But after UI and code reworks to the game, you would have expected them to add it because that's literally what they said they were going to do. They literally had in the UI rework before it made it to the main game some panels set up that actually showed daily quests, and they never actually added them to the main game. Super stupid, they didn't add that, and it's just dumb. Next up, we have party game modes and new game modes in general. There hasn't been a new game mode to Phantom Forces since Tag Run, which is not really a very popular game mode. A lot of people don't really like it, myself included. I'm not really a huge fan of it. There's no custom game modes, party game modes, even in VIP servers, and not a lot of really interesting special game modes at all. Like, the game modes in this game are just kind of cosmetic. A lot of people just completely disregard the game modes in this game. They don't play them. They don't care about a certain game mode. If it's King of the Hill, maybe one person will actually play objective and everyone else will just kind of hang out. And that isn't really the fault of the player base. You can't really blame players for not playing a game mode because the game mode is boring. The game modes in this game are not fun. I think this is a new server, and hopefully it is, because the other one was super laggy, so that seems better. Anyway, the game modes in this game, you can't really blame the community for not playing or actually playing objective on those game modes, because the game modes are just really not that fun. They don't really do anything super fun or even reward you for playing them that much. Party game modes would be super fun. There's only one right now, and that's gun game, and you can only play that in a VIP server or if there's an admin in your game. And I think playing gun game like very occasionally, talking maybe once every like 10 rounds you play gun game, that would give a lot of reason to actually play a lot and kind of just wait for a gun game server to start, because in the server browser you can actually browse for gun game servers. However, rarely will there actually be a gun game lobby, because it would have to be an admin who decided to make it gun game, which they don't really have to do that. They rarely do that, and I played gun game maybe twice in the main game, and usually they just make it like some kind of special map. They never really make it gun game, which is really unfortunate, because if you're a regular player, unless you join me when I occasionally stream, which you should subscribe because I do stream, if you're not super lucky with an admin or joining somebody's stream, or you have a VIP and you actually have a few friends to play it with, you're not going to be able to play gun game ever. You're never going to play it even one time, which is just ridiculous, because it's a really fun and well-made game mode for this game, because you get randomized attachments too, which makes it really, really, really fun. EF has like way more interesting gun game because of the attachments being randomized. You can have basically whatever you'd want, and I'd like to have 3 different versions of gun game, which is, it uses your attachments on that gun. So for example, if you have the AK-12, you have attachments on it, you get your attachments, which would be really fun, especially for people who have a lot of guns with attachments. You might be like, well, isn't that just like cheating? They get attachments and you don't. Well, here's the thing, right? Normally when you play, people who have high ranks have more attachments than you anyway, so attachments don't really like make or break a gun a lot of the time, but they can be helpful. And the other one would be default attachments. So iron sights on every gun, that would be really fun as well. And then randomized attachments as the third one. Other game modes like Juggernaut, which were already in the game. Infection was already in the game, but for some reason they were removed. It was because there was issues with them or something. It had become buggy, but just fix the bugs. It's worth the time you actually put into it. And the next thing that was pretty important is just the maps in this game. Not very good. There's probably like 2 good maps, just like I guess Desert Storm. That's about it. Like the other maps that are alright, like for example, Blackside is an alright map. This is actually just Operation Locker from Battlefield 4. It's a little bit different. There was a map before called Locker, and that was literally Operation Locker, but this is pretty similar. Bazaar is like Dust 1 and 2 put together. It's basically just taking different environments from different games, which is fine. I think that's completely fine, but there's only a few maps that are actually popular. Desert Storm is the most popular map by a long shot, and even that isn't a great map. It's a pretty good map for this game, but it's not really a great map overall for all of games. And because of the $1 million bounty, or 1 million Robux bounty, I guess, they actually tried to get people to make more maps for the game, but I have yet to actually see any of those maps actually even added to the test place. And the test place maps are just, some of them are really, really bad. I don't know if it's an issue with the fact that it's just community made maps. Not every single one is going to be good, but I do think that having an actual contracted employee map maker would be a really good idea, but at the same time that could be expensive. I have no idea how to fix the issue with the maps. I would just say like having a map rotation and really going crazy with the map voting and actually rewarding a lot more people for making a map is pretty important, because we need more talented people making maps for the game, because a lot of the maps in this game are just kind of meh, and then the ones in the test place a lot of the time are really not that good, and they don't really like try to fix the maps in the test place. Once they get in the test place, they kind of seem to give up on them. And along with that, of course, a map rotation is important. I think it's actually a pretty good idea to have, I don't know, like 7 maps in rotation and then rotate them in and out. So that way sometimes you're not going to be able to play on a certain map. That way it's always fresh to actually be able to run new maps, and make sure that it's not like some kind of like artificial map shortage where they don't rotate any new maps in. I mean like remove a new map, or an original map I mean, and then add a new map. That way there will be like a returning map and a new map every 2 weeks. Maybe not a new map every 2 weeks, because I don't know if they could do that, but as often as possible, whenever there's a new map that's actually worth adding, add it to the game or rotate it in. And the next thing, of course, is new guns. I don't think there's been any really crazy new guns added to the game recently. The M16A1 is really cool, but like other than that, the M16A1 I kind of realized in a couple of videos ago, it's basically the X95R, and then its conversion is basically under blackout on the X95R. That's kind of unfortunate. That's like kind of the same gun. But yeah, in general, not really that great in terms of new weapon variety. I think there should be a new gun pretty often, or a new conversion pretty often. I'm talking like once a week a new conversion or something. That's what I thought we were going to be getting with this current developer, and no hate to the current developer, but he hasn't really added a ton of new stuff. But right now he's just trying to fix all the issues with this current update, but I don't feel like those changes are coming fast enough to actually make anybody too happy with his current development of the game. As I said, don't like go out of your way to hate him. Don't hate him at all. Like, just, you can criticize the changes he makes or anything like that, but don't unnecessarily hate the dev. He's been given kind of a weird hand of cards where a lot of the changes that are currently in the game are just things that people are not big fans of, so I feel bad for him, I'm not gonna lie. And I've tried to kind of help him. I've talked to him a couple of times about changes, and hopefully he'll be able to fix some of the weird stuff. Some guns are super overpowered right now. The last 2 things is going to be bug fixes and anti-cheat. Anti-cheat in this game is really not super up to Phantom Forces to do. They're not really liable for exploiters too much. They can try to make an anti-cheat, but they're working with somebody else's platform, so kind of difficult to make a really good one. But at the same time, they have one, and it's not great. There's tons of exploiters in this game, which is super unfortunate, and a lot of them like to hide that they're cheating. But overall, some of the weird stuff that they've done to try to fix the anti-cheat has been kind of strange, like essentially removing M sliding and Zynga sliding, which was really unfortunate, but it has actually lowered the number of speed hackers. I haven't really seen them that often in quite a while now. I just really hope that the new Roblox anti-cheat is actually really good. We'll have to see though, because I don't know. Roblox has never had a good anti-cheat, which is really unfortunate. It needs a good anti-cheat, and maybe now is the time. But also the anti-cheat might actually ruin a lot of stuff. Hopefully it doesn't remove FPS unlocking. Probably won't do that apparently, because the person who made it, the FPS unlocker, is like a ex-Roblox developer or something, or maybe a current Roblox developer. It's actually somebody who wrote like 1 line of code. FPS unlocker is not really injecting your game with too much at all. Like, it literally just goes, hey, now you have no cap on your FPS. And I think that Roblox in general just needs an FPS unlocker by default. They need to fix that. They haven't fixed that, and it's so annoying. Like, some games don't really run that great with an FPS unlocker, and a lot of FPS games increase recoil by the amount of FPS to have, which can make some games have like quad times the recoil. But yeah, PF doesn't really have a problem with that, but it's just a Roblox issue. I thought I would address it in this, so yeah, that's the issue with the anti-cheat. And last up, we have bug fixes, because the game is not in a very great state when it comes to bugs. There's a lot of weird visual bugs, aiming bugs, spotting bugs, stuff like that can get pretty annoying and weren't there before. Some stuff has been fixed, like before you used to vault on stuff and just fly every 1 second. That has kind of been fixed. It does happen occasionally now, but it used to happen so much more often, and you would die fall damage all the time from it. So overall, the bug fixes are not great. They're not in a great state, but they're not in a terrible state either. Not really a ton of positive stuff there, but not a ton of negative either. It's not like a terrible situation. And overall, do I think the game is dying right now? I would say yes, if we continue on this track of lackluster updates, not a ton of new features, the new guns being kind of not a ton of bug fixes, the anti-cheat still being a problem, all this stuff, it's definitely finally starting to stack up. Before, it was kind of an issue and the game was not doing too great. I don't think the game has really been growing in players a ton. It's been pretty stable until like now, which is crazy. It's been stable for years and years. So is this the end of the game? Probably not entirely, but I do think the game is definitely dying in its current state, and I think they could fix it. They could turn this around really quickly, and the game is still really good. I think PF is a really good game. I probably would continue making videos on it for a while, but I definitely am going to be making, as I have in the past like month or so, more videos on games that are not PF, so check those out if you have not. I've been making on and off videos outside of PF for like 2 years. I didn't even start this channel with PF. I started it with other Roblox games, but I'm actually moving to those games again. But yeah, if you guys did enjoy it, make sure to like and subscribe if you're new, and comment down below your opinions on this. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. Have a nice day.